A new episode of Legends of Tomorrow saw the team try to track down Helen of Troy, and the show teased a future appearance by a DC Comics icon. In 1937 Hollywood, a supernaturally mesmerizing Helen of Troy Bar Pally was cast in Cecil B. DeMille's latest historical epic. On the Wave Rider, Ray's Brandon Routh's latest attempt to separate the Firestorm Matrix resulted in Jefferson Franz Drummer and Stein Victor Garber switching bodies. Nick Zano was the only member of the crew to truly appreciate the ridiculousness of the situation. Sarah K. Lotz took the Legends into the past to relocate Helen, but the team lost track of their target after she was picked up by a rival movie producer. The Legends attend Hollywood party in another attempt to collect Helen but were stopped by Damien Dark Neil McDonough and his team. Kuasa Tracy I feature taunted Amaya Maisie Richardson's lies about there being a connection between them. Dark told Sarah to disband the Legends or he would kill them all. Instead, Sarah led the female members of the team in another attempt to capture Helen. Jefferson advised Stein to use his body to have an affair with longtime crush Hedy Ma, which feels like an overextension of the Guy Code. While Freaky Friday retreads can be a bit goofy, I think Helen Hunt handled the device well. For one thing, it allowed Franz Drammer and Victor Garber to show off their acting abilities in a really fun way. After working together for so long, it's clear that both men had each other's numbers down. Their imitations of each other were spot on without ever descending into cheap caricature. Honestly, I would have minded had they been stuck this way for a few episodes. Must be Tuesday. The Lady Legends got Helen back to the ship, but the Wave Rider experienced a mysterious system shutdown. Helen told Zari Tala as she was reluctant to return to a time in which she had no agency. Stein theorized that Helen's entrance into the Hollywood caused Hedy Lamarr to quit acting. As a knock-on effect, she also didn't perform the research that would lead to the development of digital networking, meaning the tech used to power the Wave Rider never came into existence. Just as Stein convinced Hedy to give her career another shot, the pair were confronted by Dark. The Legends arrived on the scene and Sarah challenged Dark to a one-on-one no-magic duel. Kuasa broke onto the Wave Rider to retrieve Helen. Nora Courtney Ford, the psychic from last week and Dark's daughter, apparently used her magical abilities to batter the Legends. Hedy convinced Stein and Jefferson to merge even in their altered states, and Firestorm proved powerful enough to run the baddies off. However, Sarah was mystical wounded in the fracas. Before being stabbed by Helen, Kuasa revealed that she was Amaya's granddaughter. The revelation that Kuasa is Amaya's granddaughter, while a bit obvious, does add a lot of intrigue to the Malice arc. In addition to just recruiting powerful metas, I'm now wondering if the arch-villain is purposely creating a team to counter the Legends. I could see his recruiting Dark with the intent of throwing Sarah off her game, and enlisting Kuasa specifically to divide Amaya's loyalties. If that's the case, I think it lends further credence to my theory that Rip Arthur Darville is actually Malice. Arrowverse villains are never that tactically insightful unless there's a personal connection involved, with the protectors of history, not its editors. Hedy got her old job back with Warner Brothers and history was restored. Merging into and out of Firestorm returned Stein and Jefferson to their right bodies. Gideon put Sarah into a coma to heal her injuries. Ray offered to tell Amaya more about her future history, but she declined. Zari took her Helen back to her own time but dropped her off in 13th century Themyscira. Helen Hunt's ending was highly enjoyable. For one thing, it gave Zari a great character moment. As a former freedom fighter, there was just no way she could take Helen back to an environment where she would be oppressed. It also established that while other members of the team are content to just protect history, Zari is okay with breaking the rules when compelled to by her conscience. There's a pretty good chance that difference in perspective will become a major conflict later this season. The other cool part of the ending was that it confirmed, or at least strongly suggested, that some version of Wonder Woman exists in the Arrowverse. Admittedly, it's super unlikely that the franchise will debut their version of the Justice League the same year Warner Brothers brings those characters to the big screen. But since Supergirl has given us a Superman, Arrow has name-checked Bruce Wayne and Legends occasionally referenced the team, it's probably not entirely out of the question In fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see some version of the Big Three pop up in the 2018 Arrowverse crossover. Next week, the Legends take on Gorilla God in Vietnam. Legends of Tomorrow airs on the CW Tuesdays at 98C on the CW.